here today. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another review of Life Chesses for the bold and beautiful October 1st, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode if y'all actually saw it. So we're gonna do a quick summary and then we're gonna dive into the review. Well, technically the review gonna be quick too because nothing happened. Nothing happened basically. But hold on. But okay, Carter was trying to pull a Ridge and ends up telling Hope that he wants to get married today. I said, sir, she don't want to marry you at all, and you think she finna marry you today? I could see her pretending and saying yes and stuff like that, and then getting to the doggone altar and walking away, getting to the altar and walking away or whatever. But yeah, I was like, she don't want to marry you at all. You talking about getting married today? Did you see the look on her face? I said, did you hear nothing that Daphne told you? But yeah, I said, she don't want to marry you at all. You talking about getting married today? Brooke was bringing up Carter's betrayal like she didn't betray her too. I said, how you gonna mention what he did when the only reason why you took the CEO position to begin with is because you was trying to give the company back to your man. Give the company back to him. I said, so you shouldn't be speaking on Carter. But yeah, she did from the jump. She was ultimately blaming Carter. She failed to acknowledge the fact that Hope played a part in it or whatever, and she finally started to acknowledge it. But yeah, aside from that, let's see. Hope ends up asking Brooke her thoughts on who she should choose. She basically said Liam. Long story short, what she kept saying, she basically said Liam. But she did tell her it's up to her. She did tell her to think back to everything that happened and how, y'all have Beth together. Y'all have a child together. Think back to how, that was your miracle child. They started doing the flashbacks where they showed, their past and how she was pregnant with Beth and the happy moments and how they found out that the baby had died, and then Liam ends up telling her the baby was alive and all the other extra doggone stuff that we done seen 1,000 freaking times. Hold on. But yeah, what else happened? Let's see. Ridge ends up agreeing with Carter to bring Hope for the future back. Daphne was still trying to warn Carter about Hope and Liam. And the last thing is that Beth was still trying to get her parents back together. But yeah, let's dive into this review real fast. At the beginning of the episode, Brooke was asking if Hope willing to give her family with Liam another try, and long story short, you can tell she is. You definitely can see that she is. She ends up talking about her love for Liam and how they almost thought that he died, and all these flashbacks about the past and Beth. You know how they said that Beth had passed away, but she didn't. They did the flashbacks with that, and to me, it seemed like Brooke was encouraging her to choose Liam, but the fact that you even had to have this conversation when you wearing another man's ring on your finger, it should tell you yourself, you know the answer. You know you want Liam. You know you want Liam back. Now, I don't understand. I really don't understand. I said, now that they need to pick a side now. I was like, how many times they gonna do this? But yeah, I seen a lot of people saying how they actually happy that they finna reunite allegedly, because we don't know if they gonna actually take it there, but it looked like they is. They saying how they happy that Hope and Leo reuniting. They think that they deserve to be a family and all this other stuff. What you call what they was trying before? They done tried 1,000 freaking times and it ain't worked yet. It ain't worked. And I said, Hope, you over here asking her, then you just tell her off about how she repeatedly chose what's his name, Ridge and stuff. Then you tell her about herself some months ago. Now you over here doing the same thing again. But yeah, Brooke asked her if she's willing to give her family with Liam another try. Beth was talking to Liam, saying how she wants Liam and Hope to be back together, to be a family again. How she thinks that Carter's nice, but he ain't for her mama. But he ain't for her mama. And they was talking about that, and Liam over here like, I just want her to be happy, and he treats her nice, and it's up to Hope. You liar, pants on fire. I said, don't lie to your daughter. Doggo well, you over here trying to put the moves on her mama again and get her back just to play with her like you been doing for decades before she even got in the picture. What you talking about? But yeah, what else? Let's see. Ridge ends up saying he agrees with Carter. It's time to bring Hope for the future back. I said, I thought he had to run it past Steffi and Eric. I thought he had to run it past them. Ain't that what that whole little meeting and conversation they had? Didn't they say they had to agree? But yeah, he was like, he could show him the numbers and stuff like that. He was like, there's no need. He agrees. It's time to bring Hope for the future back. So he wanted to be the one to tell Hope. He did tell her at the end of the episode, but the good that's gonna do. You over here fighting for her, and she over here thinking about another man. She over here trying to decide if you even worthy because of something you did, because you gave a company that was neither one of y'all's back. She's still mad about that. This man over here, Leon, done cheated 1,000 freaking times, and you over here mad because he gave a company that wasn't yours to begin with back. I think she's just looking for an excuse. She definitely is. But yeah, I already said Ridge ends up agreeing. Hope ends up asking Brooke who she thinks that she should be with or whatever. If you were me, what would you do? That ain't the person you need to be asking. You know what she'll do. He just walked through the door. The way he walked after she left in. After she left in. That don't make sense. After she left out, he came in. I said, she don't chose him again. She waited and waited and tried and pursued and pursued, and she finally got him back for right now. But yeah, I was like, that's the worst person you could ask. I said, then you just tell her off in her living room about how she been study going back and forth to this man. Remember that episode, y'all, where she was like, Reg, where is he? She's like, Reg. That was funny. But yeah, hold on. But yeah, she asked her who she thinks that she should be with, and she was like, it's up to you. But she ended up saying basically Liam, talking about the family they had and the memories they shared and the love, how the love is still there or whatever. Daphne ends up coming in to talk to Carter, saying how she don't want to see him hurt. And you know, you're not just up against a man, but a man and a family. You up against a family as well, or whatever. And Carter just, the man just looking for love at this point. I don't know what to say about him. I don't know what to say, because it's like every time it was Maya, wasn't it Maya? It was Quinn. It was, what was that girl name? Was it Zoe? What's her name? Zoe? Was he with Paris too? It was one of them, Zoe or Paris or both. I don't know. I can't remember which one it was. But then Quinn, now Hope. I said the man just can't find his own love, can he? Maybe with Daphne, because she still want him. She definitely still want him or whatever, you could tell. But yeah, she was just warning him, you know, are you sure? Because y'all haven't set a wedding date yet. I said, and you ain't going to set one. He over here talking about getting married today. I said, he trying to pull a Ridge, because Ridge going to marry Brooke today, and he ended up marrying her that day or whatever. I said, it's not going to work out, buddy. It's not the same thing. It's not going to work out. Now, I would expect her to turn him down and say no, and then go over there and marry Liam. I would expect that. Well, yeah, she was also saying, I don't know if that was yesterday's episode or today's episode. She said something about she don't know when she became such, you know, so afraid of commitment or whatever. I think that was yesterday's episode. I said, I know when Liam, the whole Liam situation ended. But if he was to ask you to marry him, you would rush to marry him. I don't know who you will get to, don't, excuse me. I don't know who you would get to perform the ceremony, because Carter probably will feel some type of way. But at the same time, we just got to wait and see. And what else? Let's see. I already talked about Daphne telling Carter she don't want to see him hurt. Leon ends up thanking Ivy because she stopped by to bring a bracelet and necklace for what's that little girl named Beth? And she was saying something about she brought the same to Kelly and stuff, and she ends up asking her about her mama and daddy reuniting and stuff. I said, don't ask her, she won't Leon herself. I said, there you go, Leon. Soon as she walked through the door, I said, there you go, Leon. There goes somebody for you. I said, there goes somebody for you, because she wants you. I said, she wants you, Leon. But yeah, Beth ends up leaving, and that's when they have a conversation, and she was just saying how Leon wants the same thing, to be with Hope and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, just get it over with at this point. Just get it over with. Just put them together. Just put them together. But then they finally show Carter and Hope. She walks in. He ends up telling her he has news. She was saying, you know, let me guess, it's about a calendar and stuff like that. And he was like, it's not personal, it's professional. So he ends up telling her that Ridge agreed to bring the line back. She was happy and hugging and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, he's like, how did he say it? He's basically saying, let's get married today, or whatever. And the way he grabbed her and the look on her face, I was like, I don't think she's gonna marry you, sir. I said, I know she don't want to marry you. Let me correct myself. I know she don't want to marry you. Somebody get married today, and she don't want to marry you tomorrow. She don't want to marry you tomorrow. You somebody, let's get married today. But yeah, I think, was that the last thing? I think that was the last thing. When he hugged, I was like, Carter, it's over. Now, I did see in the promo how Carter's supposed to be telling her to go be with her family, so I'm wondering if this is going to be the end of them or what. But we'll see. But yeah, that's all that happened. Let me know y'all thoughts down below on this episode. He said, he's going to get married today. I said, she don't want to marry you tomorrow. Well, yeah, okay. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Be safe. Deuces.